Everything you have read about building wealth skips the ugly part, the part where it actually feels bad while you are doing it. I started at zero. No inheritance, no trust fund, no rich relatives slipping me money under the table. What pulled me out was not luck, and it was not some secret nobody else knows. It came down to 10 habits, and almost everyone abandons them because they feel uncomfortable, unglamorous, and a little brutal. At least, that is how they feel in the beginning. Stay with me, because the discomfort is the entire point. A few years before any of this worked, I was the person checking a bank account with my stomach in a knot. Rent would clear, and there was almost nothing left behind it. The math was simple and humiliating. More money came in than I ever managed to keep. So before we touch a single habit, understand this. None of them require a high income, a finance degree, or some personality you were not born with. What they require is that you do specific, uncomfortable things that your own brain will fight you on, every step of the way. I also want to set your expectations honestly, because this is where the no sugarcoating part really begins. None of these habits will make you rich this year, or next year. Anyone promising you that is selling you something. What these habits do is bend the trajectory of your entire financial life by a few degrees. And a few degrees, held steady over decades, is the difference between scraping by forever and quietly becoming the wealthiest person at your own family reunion. The work is slow, it is boring, and it is almost entirely invisible to the people around you. That invisibility is exactly why it works. Let us start with the one that changed everything. Number 1. Pay yourself first, automatically, before you spend a single dollar. Here's the unglamorous reality about budgeting. Willpower is a terrible savings plan. You promise yourself you will save whatever is left at the end of the month, and at the end of the month there is never anything left. There is always a dinner out, a sale you could not pass up, a thing you suddenly decided you needed. The problem was never your discipline. What actually trips you up is that you left yourself in charge of the decision at the exact moment you are weakest, which is when the money is sitting right there in your account, begging to be spent. So you remove yourself from that decision entirely. On the day your paycheck lands, a fixed amount moves into investing before your eyes ever see it, before the spending part of your brain even has a chance to wake up and object. Take someone like Brandon, an ordinary worker on a modest salary. He sets up an automatic transfer of $400 on every single payday, straight into a low-cost index fund, and then he treats that money as if it never existed. At a long-run average of around 7% a year, that quiet little habit grows to nearly $500,000 across 30 years. Now sit with that, because he never actually had $500,000 to invest. Out of his own pocket, he contributed around $144,000. Everything above that line is compounding, doing the heavy lifting while he slept, while he worked, while he lived his life and forgot the transfer was even happening. Let the same habit run for 40 years instead of 30, and that ordinary $400 a month crosses a full $1 million. Same person, same paycheck. One decision made once and then automated forever. The brutal part is honest, so I will be honest. For the first 2 months, paying yourself first feels exactly like a pay cut. Your spending money is genuinely smaller and your brain hates it. And then something strange happens. You adjust. Your life quietly reshapes itself around the money that is actually in front of you. And the discomfort just fades. The pay cut feeling disappears. The wealth it is building does not. That is the entire trade. And almost nobody is willing to sit through those uncomfortable first 2 months to get it. Number 2. Treat your employer match like a pay cut you refuse to accept. This habit is about the closest thing to free money that exists anywhere in the real world, and a stunning number of people walk straight past it every payday. In 2026, you are allowed to put up to $24,500 of your own salary into a 401k. Most employers will match some portion of what you contribute, which means that for every dollar you put in up to a certain limit, they drop in free dollars right beside it. If your company matches the first few percent of your pay, you are looking at a guaranteed instant return the moment your money lands. Walking away from that is not caution. Walking away from that is turning down a raise you already earned with your own hours. Colette sat next to a coworker who skipped the match for years. His reasoning sounded responsible on the surface. Retirement felt far away, the paycheck felt tight, and he wanted every dollar now. She did the exact opposite. Her employer kicked in roughly $200 a month on top of her own contributions, and she made absolutely sure she captured every cent of it. That match alone, just the free portion her company added, compounded into around $250,000 over 30 years. Read that slowly. $250,000. And not one penny of it came out of her own salary. Her coworker, doing the same job for the same company, left every dollar of that on the table because the future felt too far away to matter. The kind of number that makes accountants cry, and he simply gave it away. So before you optimize anything fancy, before you chase returns or pick funds or read a single hot take, you capture every dollar of match your employer offers. There is no investment on earth that hands you an immediate, guaranteed return like a dollar-for-dollar match does. It is the rare moment where the system is openly offering you money, and your only job is to not refuse it. The objection I hear most is that the paycheck is already too tight to spare anything for retirement, and I understand it completely, because I lived it. Here is what makes the match different from every other line in your budget. The money your employer adds is a return you earn the instant you contribute, before the market does anything at all. Put in $1, get $1 dropped beside it, and you have already doubled your money on day one, which is a result no stock picker on the planet can promise you. One quiet warning worth knowing is that many matches vest over time, meaning you have to stay at the company a certain number of years before that free money is fully yours to keep. So check your plan, learn your vesting schedule, and do not walk away from a job and leave thousands of unvested dollars behind without realizing it. Number 3. Kill high-interest debt like it is on fire before you invest another cent. This one stings because the internet loves to scream at you to start investing early, and that advice is genuinely true, with one enormous exception sitting right in front of it. If you are carrying a balance on a credit card, you are already in a race, and your opponent never sleeps, never takes a day off, and never shows you mercy. The average new credit card in 2026 charges almost 24%. Across the country, Americans are now holding more than $1.2 trillion in card debt. That interest compounds against you in exactly the same merciless way that investing compounds for you, just aimed in the opposite direction, draining you a little more every single day. Run the actual numbers and the cruelty of it becomes impossible to ignore. Darius is sitting on $6,000 of card debt at 22%. He pays a steady $150 a month, and he feels responsible about it, because at least he is paying something. That debt takes him more than 6 years to finally clear, and along the way he hands the bank almost $5,000 in pure interest, money that bought him nothing. Now imagine the same Darius clawing together $300 a month instead, even though it hurts. That identical debt vanishes in a little over 2 years, and the interest he pays drops to around $1,500. By doubling his payment, he saves himself roughly $3,500 and 4 years of his life chained to that balance. Here is why this has to come before investing. Paying off a card charging 22% is the same, in pure math, as earning a guaranteed 22% return on your money, with zero risk and zero uncertainty. No stock, no fund, no clever trade reliably beats that, year after year, with any kind of safety. So while it feels backward to pause your investing to attack debt, the numbers are screaming the opposite. Clear the high-interest debt first. Everything that comes after it gets dramatically easier, because you finally stop running uphill. What makes this debt so dangerous is how quietly it works. The interest never sends you a dramatic bill you can react to. It just slips a little more onto your balance every single day, a few dollars at a time, small enough that you stop noticing it entirely. That is exactly how a manageable balance turns into a chain that follows you for years. So when you attack it like an emergency. Because in slow motion, that is precisely what it is. Throw every spare dollar at the highest rate card first, while paying the minimums on the rest. And watch that balance fall. The relief you feel when the last one hits zero is something no purchase has ever come close to matching. And the money you were bleeding in interest becomes money you finally get to keep. Number 4. Build the boring emergency fund before you touch the exciting investments.